That's big brain as hell, man. Oh man.
Yeah, you can remind me when you're gonna be editing the footage. You can remind me. I should have a footage of me going 1v1 against the Frost Mage's Retribution Paladin. I can send it to you.
With sad violin music. All around me are familiar faces. And you're getting hit by the fucking frostbolt. All are places. And you get locked in the Nova and you cannot move.
Yeah.
What up, homeboys? How you doing, May? Alright, so we're doing a deep dive onto the Wrath of the Lich King Paladin today. So, May, what's your experience with WoW? When did you start playing WoW?
I started playing WoW on Wrath of the Lich King actually in 2013 on Twin Star, which is now known as Apollo WoW. So I played Wrath of the Lich King as my first ever expansion. It was for about a year. And then they transferred to Cataclysm, the same server.
Yeah, the Bubble Heart macro, you know, like S-Fan back in the day, people don't remember this, but back in like 2016, before S-Fan was famous, he would stream himself like trying to gank, he would like sneak into people in like a Molten Core raid, one-shot somebody because he stole all the gear from the raids, because he was the guild master and he like got all the fucking loot. And he was like stacked. He would go to some horde guy in the middle of like Blackrock Mountain. He would one-shot him, and when all the raid was turning on him, he would pop the macro and he would heart away. It was the best thing ever. He had like all his streams were that shit. He was like non-stop trolling. I thought that was the only reason you rolled Paladin. That was the reason I rolled Paladin.
I used to play a Warlock and I saw a Paladin fighting like 5 mobs at a time and holy lighting himself and being able to survive that. But I played a Warlock and I was barely able to kill 1 mob at a time. And so when I was level 26 on my first ever class was Warlock, I switched to Paladin and I never turned back.
Ah yeah, so how is the Paladin in the 3.3.5 meta, like in the private server meta? Like how strong do you think it is? Especially PvP, I'm talking like on the sense of PvP right now.
I think overall it's one of the better picks, like from the very beginning all the way up until the Ice Crown Citadel and Ruby Sanctum content. It doesn't really get as much of a benefit when it comes to the latest patch content as some other classes, like let's say Warrior with a Shadowmourne is complete killer. But for Retribution, it's not like Shadowmourne would make you or break you.
How does the prep build work exactly? I am a total noob at PvP, like people already know this. It doesn't take too much of a detective to figure that one out, but how does that spec work exactly?
It's pretty much the same as Retribution, you just lose Crusader Strike and Divine Storm. So you have much simpler rotation, but you also do a little bit more healing. You might get more procs on your Art of War, so your Flash of Lights are more valuable and you can do more support. You're a little bit more of a support role as a Prac Paladin.
So you would basically be like some sort of really tanky Shokadin.
Aside from losing the Crusader Strike and Divine Storm, you also gain Shield of Righteousness, so you have 1 extra spell instead of the 2. That does a little bit of damage, but overall you don't have as much, even those damaging spells at your disposal, so you can't do as much damage.
So, like, what is your role as a Preg Paladin? Like, making sure people stay alive and not CC'd?
Yeah, and also on Wrath of the Lich King Paladin, both Retribution and even this Preg spec can dispel not only themselves, but they can even dispel their partners in the arena or in a BG or anywhere. So you're cleansing a lot. So you actually have a lot to do in the arena. When there's any type of dot, you're just cleansing your partners. So you have to have all the keybinds and macros, not just for you, but on Arena Partner 1 and 2 as well. So you're constantly cleansing and Flash of Lighting your partners.
Oh, so you have a keybind for cleansing each one of the members? You don't just target them, you gotta like press a different button for each one of them?
No, you do it so often that retargeting would take just too much time away, and you would also be losing on
Wow.
possible auto attacks and your Art of War procs then, so it's not really worth it. On Wrath of the Lich King, there are not many classes, even healers, that actually have the Dispel.
What would be your ideal comp? What would be like the best synergies for a protection for a prec paladin or a red paladin even? Like what would you want in a raid if you provide all the utility in a paladin? I mean,
The best comps are with Marksmanship Hunter, Enhancement Shaman, Unholy Decay. I really like playing with rogues because you have so much crowd control and you don't have to really care about positioning as much because you're both melee classes. So you have plenty of options because you have that support role, so you're able to heal your partner as well as deal damage. Yeah, that's one of the things when somebody's saying why Warmane will not die. I think one of the things is their tournament realm, Blackrock. You don't have to do any PvE to get the PvE items. So I think that will be still a place for many PvPers to go to and to just have fun in the arena.
I ironically believe that grinding gear for PvP makes PvP worse, and my example is MOBAs. What are the strengths and weaknesses of a paladin?
A weakness is definitely, like in every other expansion, his mobility. Even though he's got the cleanse to get the snares off of him and freedom, which not only removes snares and slows from you, but also removes stun effects, so that's a big help. But if you're facing like a Frost Mage in 1v1 as a Retribution Paladin, there's pretty much nothing you can do. He's just gonna smoke you. You can't even move. They actually did a really good job trying to balance out the classes later on, like Cataclysm and later. You're actually able to fight a mage as a Retribution Paladin, but on Wrath of the Lich King it's pretty much impossible.
Yeah, not only hard, it is, in my opinion, very unfun. Because, you gotta... It's not fun to not be able to hit somebody while they are like off in the distance being like pew 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 pew. You feel like crap, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
To add to the previous question, another thing a paladin is missing is an interrupt. You have no means of interrupting your enemy at all. But what you counter as a paladin, for instance rogues, you're pretty good at countering rogues. Especially since you have the Hand of Freedom, which removes all stun effects on you. You also have Hand of Protection, which you can use on your partners to remove things like blind or cheap shot or kidney shot from a rogue. So that helps a lot, even your partners, if you're in an arena situation. And you're an incredible supporter. You're really balanced all around class, so you're able to do any solo content or fight pretty much anyone except the mages, because you have everything. You have the dispels, you have the heals.
What are your plans for Red Classic? That would be an interesting one to drop out there. What do you plan to do when Classic comes out? Are you gonna play it?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a paladin. Obviously.
Oh.
I would definitely like to experience everything, all of it, as much as I can. PvE, PvP, exploring the world and doing everything that the game has to offer. But let's be realistic, who knows how much time I'll have to actually play, and with things like Random Dungeon Finder not being in the game, that will slow down the entire process again. So I don't know how much time left there will be for me to actually enjoy the game as much as I would like to, but I would definitely want to spend a lot of time playing it, for sure. What are your plans for Wrath of the Lich King Classic? Are you gonna play it?
Oh, you know how the content in this channel goes. Like, I say that one thing is gonna be awesome, then I play it, and then I get bored, and I move on. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna trade it out, and I might play it for a year, I might play it for a week. You never know with Medina. Alright, man, that's pretty much every question I have for you. Thank you so much for bringing it in, man.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a pretty enlightening, get it? Enlightening. It has been a pretty enlightening experience for me. I already talked with Meytrix chat, and I was like, we gotta make a video where I just try to do arenas, and you see me play, and I'm gonna make you rage. It's gonna be awesome. You're gonna be like, fucking idiot, you're healing into evasion! You're healing into evasion! And I'd be like, I'm trying. I think that would be the best day of my life. That would be like such a funny thing to do. We're gonna see that.